Ongoing debate in college football as to what is and isn't targeting. Ohio State's Denzel Ward ejected for this massive hit on Tavon Jacobs. Two criteria for targeting. Do you lead with the crown of the helmet, or do you hit a defenseless player above the shoulders? A lot of disagreement on this one. Was in the first half, so Ward will be eligible this week. Let's start there, guys, with our topics from the headlines. Coach, I'll start with you. What do you think? Was that targeting?
No, absolutely not in my thinking. I mean, he made every effort to turn his head and hit with his shoulder. You know, if I'm watching the tape, obviously the targeting is a conversation, but from a defensive coach's standpoint and tackling, the only thing I would talk about is, hey, guys, we got to wrap up and use our arms. I mean, we got to complete the tackle. This guy might spin out of it. We just can't shoulder tackle him. We got to tackle him with our arms. So I did not think it was targeting, to answer your question, and I would add more to it.
So you want to improve the tackle?
I definitely would.
I mean, an unbelievable football player. There's no question about it. And I think, you know, Denzel Ward understood the rule. He did not lead with his head, or the crown of his head, and he didn't hit the player from the neck above. He hit with his shoulder pads right into the chest of the offensive player. Now, if you're saying that that's a defenseless player, well, he has the football. He's turning to make a football play, because I also think that's a catch there. That's a catch and a fumble. So you take points off the board, and you steal half a game from a kid. So there is no way that that's targeting. And I think our challenge is we get the inconsistency with this call. It goes to the booth. Why can't we fix that? Here's the last point. The fact that the guy on offense, his head now hits the defensive player, that's not his responsibility. I mean, there's going to be this whiplash action once you have a big hit. So I think they blew it on that one, and I'd love to get some clarity on it.
It's tough because we all understand what they're trying to do, and I think we want to see the game be healthier. We want to see players not have this concern about, you know, taking cheap shots and that type of thing. But again, it would seem from, if you go by the criteria there, it would seem like that's not targeting. And again, been a ton of calls. Northwestern's going to start the game against Maryland. First half without their two leading tacklers. Igwebuike and Fisher both ejected in the second half against Penn State on calls that were the right call.
Right.
So.
And it happens, right? Later in the game for Ohio State, it was a targeting call. That player was ejected. But here's the danger for me, because now if I'm a defensive back in that position, what do? I go lower. And so now I put the legs in action, and now you can have a knee injury that nobody wants.
All right.